This is a message from your guides, reading for Heart's Prayer. Okay, so I've only pulled one crystal for you. And then I also have some things that I pulled specifically for all of the monthly readings that I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and surround us in some positive space with my lapis lazuli. So this is the one that I pulled for your reading specifically. I feel like you are releasing some things right now. There's some energies that you're processing that are kind of releasing out of your auric field. But with what your guides were saying in the last reading, at the same time, I feel like that could be kind of normal for you. So you might be very aware of what they are talking about or what's coming up in your auric field. On the other hand, it might not really be that apparent to you. I'm not really sure, but what I do know is that it is kind of normal for you, even based off the things that they were saying in the last reading, just the way that you operate, in other words, based off kind of the way that you are and that you operate, it would be kind of normal for you to process things and release them and kind of go through shifts. I feel like you're receiving some healing right now, more so. As far as recent transitions that you've gone through, I feel like you're able to let them go a little bit better, a little bit more than you were before. I'm really feeling your ability to connect to your guides. You definitely have intuitive abilities. You would even be able to read other people if that's something that you wanted to do. Even things like healing, things like that. Now, as far as reading others, even healing others, it would probably be something that you would need to get into and maybe develop a little bit more. But that is something that's naturally there. I don't really feel like that's something that you would ever necessarily do full time, though, exactly. When your guides are reminding me of a reading that I had with you ages ago, and I never would have thought of that. But they're reminding me of a reading from a long time ago where they were talking about some block that you had with your finances, and they were speaking about how almost like you don't have to give all of your focus to only just completely to one thing. Obviously, you don't want to be like scattered where you feel distracted or there's like a chaotic energy with that. But there's almost this feeling like you can do something almost on the side type of thing. It doesn't feel like you have to commit fully to only one thing. It doesn't mean that you don't commit to things, but it kind of feels like you have more than one thing that you would be passionate about. And there's a feeling like you kind of need to honor that and allow yourself permission almost to not only be good at one thing, to not only give your time and focus and attention to just one thing or just one thing primarily. Again, you don't want to get distracted, but at the same time, there's also a feeling like you are somewhat good at multitasking. Sure, you can also take your time and you can focus on one thing at a time, definitely. And I feel like you're good at that too. But I feel like they almost balance each other out. So, in other words, you can give your full attention to one thing for a while, and then you kind of put that back and you step into, now I'm going to give my attention to this other thing for a while. And so you're able to put equal time into different things if you wanted to. But I feel like they're encouraging you to do that. And again, this is connected even with finances. Because it feels like you could support yourself through multiple ways or multiple channels of, well, the word that's coming through is expression. And the lapis lazuli, it's a throat chakra stone, not only a third eye stone. So with your third eye, you have focus. You have the ability to focus and kind of mentally compartmentalize different things so that you can give your attention to them equally, like they're saying. So this stone can definitely help with that, with mental areas in that way, and also, of course, with psychic abilities, psychic visions, intuitive feelings that that can come up for you. And it also has to do with your throat, so your creativity and even your will and your drive to do certain things. There's actually a lot of will in the throat chakra. There's intuition, there's creativity, like in an artistic way in the throat chakra. And then there's also just your will to be yourself, your will to express, your will to create. It's an extremely expressive, communicative chakra, obviously. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go into these. So these are what I pulled for all of the monthly readings. So this is Shattuckite. This has to do with earth energies, healing with earth energies. But for a number of the readings, it's been coming up as finances too. And that when you're more grounded and when you're more secure, that is a type of healing all its own. It enables you to feel more grounded and secure in who you are. It enables you to discover yourself more and allow yourself to be more free, because you feel more free to do things that you want. You're more capable in the world if you are financially supported, if you are grounded in a physical way, not only with finances, but also with the idea of living comfortably, in a sense, having this sense of yourself, a sense of family, community. And so those are a lot of root chakra type of energies there. And there's a feeling of healing with that as well. Okay, so then I have the piper. And he plays music, obviously, but it's to help him connect to his emotional self and to help other people connect to their emotional self and what they are feeling, what they are drawn to, what they're drawn to creating, what they're drawn to saying, speaking, expressing in whatever way that comes out. It doesn't have to be necessarily thoughts coming out with words. It can be the way he does it. It can be through music. It can be through painting or some other artistic thing. Or it can just be by following your calling, whatever it is that you feel drawn to. Whatever it is that you feel drawn to doing or offering. Okay, so then I have here the rune Sawelu, and this can definitely mean it's the sun. It represents the sun, so it can definitely mean things like success, also like a period of struggle or sadder emotions is passing, it's over, or that it's coming into completion, it's passing. So you're kind of coming into the rainbow after the storm type of thing. The sun is coming up. But then there's also this idea of awakening, of being sure of yourself, and also with Sawelu, and this is the thing that's really been sticking out for all of these readings with Sawelu, has been your connection to your higher self. Those other things were also pretty specific for your reading, what was coming up with Sawelu there. Okay. Okay, so I'm already coming a little bit over the time limit, but I've been kind of going over a little bit with everybody. So why not make this fair? And I'm just going to go ahead and pull a card here. I pulled this deck out. And I haven't used this. I haven't used any decks with anybody today, but I felt like I should pull a card with you. So I'm going to go ahead and close out the reading with that. Okay. Okay. So, I'm going to go ahead and pull one more. Oh, right. Those are falling out pretty quickly. Okay, so here I have the Queen of Passage, and then I have the Lady of the Forest. So the Queen of Passage, she is really about coming into it, same types of things as we're coming through with Sawelu for you. Has to do with your emotions. It can also a journey. It has to do with self-discovery, but it's about passage. It's about moving from one thing into another, transitioning. Okay, this can be transitioning into spirit, obviously. But mainly this has to do with an inward journey for yourself and what you pass through. And so it also has to do really with getting in touch with your spirit. Now, the Lady of the Forest, on the other hand, she's all about dreaming, and she's about emotions and really getting in touch with your emotional side, your emotional expression, and this sort of raw creativity that comes from your emotions and your deeper emotions. So there's this feeling of letting them out in an expressive way that is creative and brings you healing and growth, and at the same time it might even end up financially supporting you in some way as well. Okay, so that is the message for this reading. Thank you very much for allowing me once again to connect with your guides. I truly hope, as always, that this reading has benefited you. Thank you. Namaste.